Here. If you plug in and you don't get light, this is why. Alright, so now we have the laser hooked up. Now we can turn everything on and start counting some photons. So now that we have our laser installed and instrument started up, we can open the data station. And the instrument will begin initialization. So to begin, we want to pick the FL3-21 configuration with emission 1. The two most important parts of this are we need to turn it to the TVX O4 detector, which is here. And we also want to use the nano LED sample chamber, which is here. So we need to click on this as well. And then the instrument will fly. Alright. So we want to do light time. So we'll click on light time here. So the first thing we want to make sure we have is we want to have our emission monochromator at the wavelength we want to record the emission for whatever fluorochlore you're going to be using. Since we're using 488, we want to record its peak emission, which is 517. I've already set the emission monochromator to 517. We'll turn on our nano LED. And then we're going to make two measurements. The first measurement is going to be the prompt, which is the instrument response function. And to do that, we'll use a light scattering colloid, and this is colloidal silica, or colloidal starch, called Ludox. And we'll be using a typical microcuvette to do so. These cuvettes are kind of particular about the orientation you need for this instrument, in that there are three windows to view from. The side that you cannot read through needs to go to this side of the detector, because there's nothing here. Then the two windows that you can see through need to go in parallel to the beam of the laser, and the one window here goes to the detector. Once we place our solution in the instrument, we want to make sure we're not collecting too many photons. We want to stay within about 0.5 to 2% photon collecting, which you see in the lower right-hand corner of the screen here. We're at 0.34% now. We want to get that a little bit higher. So we're going to open up our split width. I'm going to open it all the way over to 20 nanometers. And you can see we're now collecting 1.1%. Once we go over 2%, this green icon will turn red. Then you'll have to put this to width. We'll leave it right now. So now that we know we're collecting a minimum, the maximum amount of photons, we're going to click on prompt. We're going to click start. And the instrument will start counting photons. One thing you'd like to do is for kind of personal preferences to view the data going from left to right. Which I can switch after it's done recording. So we've already set the peak to 10,000 counts for the highest bit. So once we hit 10,000 counts for the highest bit, it adds off. That's already true. So then we're going to switch our data so it's normal. Alright. Now we can actually go on measurements. Now we measure this in response function. I can put in my electric 48 diet. I can measure blood count 48 diet. Alright, so I placed in here 100 nanomolar sequencing DNA labeled with electric 48 diet. Typical concentrations we'll use in this instrument are around the nanomolar range. The same concentrations you use in your normal fluorescence experiments using a burner. So I'll place my sample back in the same orientation with the two windows that are parallel to one another pointing this way, and the one window that's only open pointing this way. Now that I have my sample in, I have to make sure that I'm counting enough photons. And as you can see on the lower right-hand side of the screen, that green icon turned red. It's telling me that there are too many photons being detected right now. So I need to close my split width. I'm going to cut it in half. Alright, so now we drop down to 1.68. Just to be safe, I want to go right on 1%. And add the medium. So we got 1.15% detection. Perfect. So now we click on decay, and now we can record the actual lifetime of electric 48. Once again, when the highest count of the pins reach 10,000, 67 will stop, and we can fit our data. Another interesting thing you can do while you're watching this is switch from log to linear scale. So the log scale is kind of looks like a straight line, or the linear scale you can actually see the decay profile. Alright. We finished the data acquisition and now measure the lifetime of electric 48. So now we want to save our decay. To do so, we click File, we click Save. I'll save it in my folder here on the desktop. So it automatically saves both the prompt and the decay in that file. If you want more than one experiment using the same prompt, you can actually go on to new decay. But for each decay you save, you'll have to save the prompt again. So we can actually do another measurement just to show you this demonstrate. And we're done. So as I said before, to save this one, we're going to go to File and Save. So here, now that we have two decays for one prompt, it's going to ask you which prompt you want to save it to which decay. We only have one prompt, so we want to choose that one. We want to choose the second decay to save it. Alright, and so that concludes the measurement of 48 lifetime. Now that we've acquired our lifetimes, we want to fit each decay profile with the exponential code. Do this using decay analysis software. So we're going to open our file, our folder. And so you have your prompt in blue and your decay in red. Constrain the data you fit, actually, by moving these right and left-hand lines about where your data is contained in the file. Now, essentially, you just click on this bit function here. You can click one exponential. You ask the software to recommend which channel is the lifetime is in. Click it. You can see that our time 1 is on channel 71, so 4 nanoseconds, which is right in the right range for electrical and our chi-squared is 1.11, so a little high. So we'd like to see if a single exponential, if a double exponential is better. Again, we go back to this function, click 2 exponentials, again, recommend, enter it again, and you can do this again and again up to 5 lifetimes. But the instruction tells you, it's the same thing more. And you can see with each one of your things, it lists your chi-squared value for each bit. So they're also over 1.1. And that's it. To save your actual lifetimes, you would basically highlight this folder here, copy it, and paste it in a notebook. And there you go, there's the lifetimes. This is an explanation of how to use the multi-top. If it's not, you can start it using the Voyager control panel icon. Double click on that and it should start the software. Also, the television monitor should be off before you come to use it, and so the first thing you should do is start the television monitor by turning on the power here. Okay, now that it's ready for you to use, you can look at a couple things. The pressure here should be in the green. If it's yellow or red or has an error message here, you may want to contact Instrument Center staff to help you address the problem. In this case, it's ready to go. So the first thing we want to do is load our sample plate. So what we will do is either click on this hand icon or go to sample plate and select eject, and then we're going to press the button that says eject. Now this process takes a little while, so we will come back after the process is completed and the sample plate holder has ejected. Okay, the sample plate holder is about ready to eject. You can watch it eject from the instrument. Here it comes. Okay, now it's critical that you load your sample plate correctly into the system. The sample plate has a couple of holes here, and these holes need to engage with some little balls with a spring behind them to hold the plate into place. So what we would do is we need to load it from this side, and it should slide in until it clicks, and there it's in the right place. If it's too far out this way, or if you try to load it the wrong direction, it will cause problems. So make sure that you don't do that. It needs to be loaded the right way, and it needs to be pushed in until it clicks. Now regarding the sample plate, if you're going to run several samples, you should probably get your own plate to make sure it's not contaminated and make sure that it's available. We do have a couple of plates available in the Instrument Center that you can borrow, but typically you want to buy your own plate. Contact the Instrument Center staff for the part number to order to get your own plate. Also, the most critical thing for MALDI to get good data is your sample preparation. So you'll need to use fresh matrix, and to spot your sample with the matrix properly, you'll want to consult the literature for the best way to do that for your sample. In this case, we're going to assume that the sample's already ready to go, and it's already on the plate. So we will load it in correctly. We'll click, and we'll go back to the computer. We're going to go back to sample plate, and we will select load. And here, on the plate ID from the pull-down menu, you can choose what type of plate you have. It's not really critical, but what will happen is if you choose the plate ID, it will bring up a little map here, which will help you locate where your samples are on the plate after it has been loaded. So this one's a 384 well plate, and I will select load. What's going to happen is it's going to set the plate into the instrument, and again, this process will take a few minutes before the plate actually gets loaded fully into the instrument. Okay, the plate has loaded into the system. One thing I'd like to point out this time is the source and mirror pressure here. They're in the green. When it loads the plate into the system, it's going to bring up a window that says checking source pressure. It's trying to pump down the system after it's loaded the plate in. If your plate has too much solvent on it, or if the system is wet for any reason, it may take longer than the instrument expects for it to pump down, in which case this may be in the yellow or red, and it may pop up a window saying that the pressure is too high and that it's shut down. If that's the case, don't worry. All you need to do is wait about a minute for the system to pump down further, and then select the reset button. Don't keep repeatedly selecting the reset button. If it doesn't pump down after the first or second time selecting the reset button, then the whole system may shut down. So you want to be patient and let it pump down and try reset 1 or 2 times. If you're still having trouble, please contact the Instrument Center staff for help. In this case, it's loaded okay. So the next thing we want to do is move to where our sample is plotted on the plate. And like I said, this diagram here can help us locate where it is. So if I click on the location on this diagram, it will automatically move the plate to be close to where the sample is. You can see on the monitor here that it's moving the plate. On the monitor, we have this arrow here, which indicates where the MALDI laser is aimed. So that's the part of the sample that will actually be detected. That's where the laser is focused. So to move the plate around, you can use the joystick, and it's just like a video game. You just move it up and down, and you can drive the plate around. You can see this is what a spot with matrix on it looks like. This is down here. This is what an empty spot looks like. This may look a little different depending on what type of plate you have loaded into the system. But you want to drive the plate to where your first sample is, and then you want to go back to the software here. The first thing you can do is turn on the high voltage. This is necessary for it to operate. So we'll click on the lightning bolt icon here, and it will say high voltage ramping, and then it should ramp the high voltage up to the proper value. So high voltage on, that's good. The next thing you want to do is figure out where you want to store your data. So you can click on this directory and locate the folder where you want to store your data. You can create a new folder if you want to make a new folder. We already have a folder here. And you can type in your file name where you want to save your data. Select open and it should be loaded in correctly. If you want to change it, you can change it here. Next, you want to look at these parameters on the right-hand side over here. The main parameters you want to look at are the grid percentage and the delay time. Also, you can look at the mass range and the number of shots per second. Depending on the mass range you're looking at, you'll need to adjust the grid and delay time. These will vary from sample to sample, and you may need to try a number of different settings in order to get optimum settings for your sample. Also, be aware that to get the best signal to noise, you should use fresh matrix and use the proper techniques to integrate the matrix with your sample. Down here, you can select the calibration file depending on what matrix you're using. In this case, I'm just going to leave everything as it is, and I'll show you how to operate the instrument. So we'll come back to the joystick, assuming everything's ready to go on the software. And to start collecting data, we get the fire button, which is this one, and it will start shooting a laser. And you can often see a flash here where it's firing a laser. So I'm going to do that now, and it will start firing a laser. So that's what it's firing. While it's going, you just typically do want to drive it around to different locations while it's running, because if you keep it in the same spot, it will ablate all of the sample in that one location, and you'll stop getting as much signal. In this case, we don't have it optimized, so I'm not worried about what we're looking at here, so don't worry about that. If you want to repeat it, you can. You can press fire again and take data over the top of what you did before. If you want to save a particular data set, then you want to change file name before you collect another data set. In this case, let's assume that we're done. And next, we want to eject the sample plate. So we'll go back to the lightning bolt here, and we'll turn off the high voltage. And it should ramp down the high voltage. And then we'll go back to sample plate, and we will go to eject, and select eject. Again, this process takes a few minutes, so we'll wait for it to happen, and then we'll continue on. Okay, the sample is ready to eject, so we can go back and watch it extend the arm, ejecting the sample plate. Make sure not to touch it before it's extended the sample plate completely. After it's extended the sample plate, then you can take your plate out. And then go back to the software. And what you want to do is go back again to the sample plate. Go back to load. And then select this button over here that says load no plate. That will tell the system that it should retract the arm, but you don't have a plate on there. Finally, the last thing you should do to get ready for the next person, just so we don't wear out the monitor, is if you're done using it, you should turn off the monitor. This is an explanation of how to do tuning and matching on the V500 whiteboard. It's important to do tuning and matching before long heteronuclear experiments, such as an HSPC or an HMBC. First thing you need to do is get the computer configured correctly. In order to do that, you want to put in your sample. So you would eject the dummy sample and then put in your sample. And if you're running at another temperature, you want to make sure the instrument is at the temperature that you're running at. And the next thing you want to do is to load an experiment. Let's do the HSPC, so I'm going to click on that. And then I want to double click on the HSPC. And then I want to come over here once it has updated so that the experiment is the HSPC. Like that. I want to go to the command line and I want to type FU. The reason I'm doing that is we need to configure. And then it should be displaying a number here. Finally, with attenuation, the larger this number, the more sensitive the interface is. So if I go to a smaller number, we'll see smaller numbers here. So 9 is the most sensitive. Okay, so we see something like 81. That's not perfectly tuned. The smaller this number is, the better tuned it is. So to tune it, we need to adjust the knob on the probe over here. There's two sets of knobs. This side is tuning and matching for the protons, and this side is tuning and matching for the carbon. If you look at the bottom of the probe, they're labeled. It says XTNM and HTNM. So I'm going to tune the proton side. So I'm going to start out by adjusting the matching knob, and I'm going to look at the tune interface here. As I adjust the matching knob, I want to minimize the number. So it's getting bigger, so I'm going the wrong way. I'm going to go the other way. So the number is getting smaller. It's getting smaller. Now it's getting bigger again. So I'm going to go back to the minimum, somewhere around there. And now I'm going to turn the tune knob some direction. So I'm going to, and you have to remember which way you tune it. I'm going to turn it one direction, and now I'm going to go back to the match knob and try to find the minimum again. Okay, that's much worse. So I turned the tune knob the wrong way. So now I'm going to go back to the tune knob and turn it the opposite direction that I did previously. Okay, it's getting better. Oh, it's much better now. So I'm going to go through to about the minimum and maybe a little bit past. And then I'm going to go back to the match knob and adjust the match knob again. And it's getting smaller. That's good. And we're going to find the minimum. Okay, that's the minimum. getting worse again. I'm going to go back close to that minimum. Now I'm going to go back to the tuning knob, and I'm going to continue turning it the same way that I did. Now these turns are very, very small. I may have gone much too far. It's barely touching it and starts turning it. So I'm going to adjust the match knob again, and yeah, I went too far. So now I'm going to go back to the tuning knob, turn it the other way again. And basically, you have to irrevocably adjust the tune and the match back and forth to try to find the global minimum. And the minimum will depend on your sample, but for an organic sample, you should be able to get it down close to 0 on the photon. I went way too far. I'm getting there. Okay, 2, that's probably good enough. Okay, now we can tune the carbon channel. So to do that, I need to change the cables. So I'm going to put the photon cable from the probe back on the photon channel. And I'm going to put the tune output back on the photon channel output. And then I'm going to take the carbon channel probe and put it on the probe connection for the tune interface. And I'm going to take the carbon channel output and put it on the tune output. And then I want to change the channel to number 2 because that's how it's set in the software. And then I'm looking at the tune interface again, so I see something like 44. So I can go to the carbon tune and match, and I'm going to start with the match, and I'm going to try to minimize the number. That's getting pretty good. Okay, that's about as good as I get. Now I'm going to adjust the tune a little bit. And then I'm going to go back to the match and try to see if I can do better. Yes, I do a little better. I'm going to go back to the tune. So there's a single optimum that depends both on the tune and the match. Ideally, they would be independent, and then it would be very easy to adjust them. But unfortunately, they do interact. So as you improve one, it's going to make the other one a little bit worse, and so forth. But you want to make the overall number as small as possible. 2 to 3 is pretty good. Again, so that's good enough. So now I'm going to switch the channel back to 0, which means that the tune interface is off. And then I'm going to put the cables back onto their appropriate places. So the probe goes back on the carbon channel with the probe, and the tune output goes back onto the carbon output. So now we're done tuning. This is an explanation of how to use the FCIR with the Smart Orbit Diamond ACR cell. Changing of the Diamond ACR cell in, if it's not in there, will be covered in another procedure. So when you come to the instrument, it should already be set up with the Smart Orbit in place. The first thing you should check is whether the detector is cool. You can take out the cap, and if there's frost on the cap, then the detector is cool. But if it's not, then you need to add liquid nitrogen. You can use this funnel to add liquid nitrogen. And what you would do is slowly add liquid nitrogen until it comes out at the bottom of the styrofoam holder down there. In this case, it's already full, so we don't need to add any more. Next thing you can do is come over to the software and set the software, which is called Omnic. You should be able to start it by double-clicking on the Omnic icon. And it'll bring up the screen saying stage initialization. That means that it's trying to recognize which accessory is loaded into the instrument. So we should recognize that the Smart Orbit is loaded, and then it should show up the screen and it should say Smart Orbit here. The first thing you want to do here is go to Collect. And we'll automatically align the optics for maximum signal. Another thing to do if the instrument is behaving oddly is you can click on Reset Bench, and it should reset the system and retest what accessory is loaded. Then we'll go back to the Collect panel, and on this tab is the settings for how we want to collect the data. So we can have how many scans we want, the resolution, the format, other parameters down here, and also the background. So currently it's set to collect the background before every sample. We can also collect the background after the sample, or after a specified amount of time, or to use a file where you save the background separately. So I'm going to leave it set to before every sample, and we'll leave it with the default 4 scans. Okay. Then to collect the data, you want to click on Collect Sample. You do not need to collect background if it's set to collect the background before every sample. So we can just click on Collect Sample, and it will tell us to collect the background. So over here on the instrument, before we click OK, we want to make sure it's ready for the background. And for that, you want to make sure that the stage is clean and the top of the diamond is clean. The diamond can take most any solvent. Only limitations are strong oxidizers and strong acids. So don't use something like sulfuric acid or chromic acid. But then you can use whatever that is necessary to clean off the person sample and make sure it's ready for your background spectrum. When you're collecting the background, you should not have anything over the diamond. You don't need to have the anvil pressing on the diamond or anything covering it. You can just be like this. So we go back over to the software, and we can click OK to collect the background. And it should collect the number of scans that you set for the background. After it finishes collecting the background, it should say prepare to collect the sample spectrum. So now we can go back to the cell, and you can put solid or liquid samples on the diamond here. The diamond is just a small circle in the center here, not the whole area here. It just looks like a little clear window in the center of the sample tray here. If you put a liquid, you do not need to use the anvil. You can just take a pipette and put a drop covering the diamond. If your liquid is volatile, you can use this Teflon cover to keep it from evaporating while you collect your data. If it's solid, we need to use the anvil to press the sample down into good contact with the diamond. And for powder, you should use this